Many thanks for your time on News Desk this morning. And like I said, we're going to bring you a lot more stories. Let's start off with some politics. And Minority Leader in Parliament, Osei Mensah-Bonsu, is accusing governments of rushing through an electrification deal involving Smartty's production through Parliament. Now, according to the Minority Leader, Selassie Ibrahim's Smartty's company is fronting for a Chinese firm that has been awarded a contract amounting to about $98 million. Now, Smartty's production is the same company that was involved in the controversial bus branding that cost the nation about 3.6 million Ghana cedis. Joining me over the telephone lines now to help us understand what really the issues are is a Minority Leader, Osei Mensah-Bonsu, who joins us live now. Leader, good morning. Many thanks for your time on News Desk.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
Right. So, really, the first thing I would like to ask is, what is wrong with this deal?
Well, the agreement came to Parliament on the last sitting day of Parliament, and we had to suspend the various provisions in our rules of procedure to enable Parliament to approve it. I got alerted to it, and trying it, I felt uncomfortable. Why? Because at the time where this thing came before us, the Smarties had come under the government because of their dealings or their involvement in the rebranding of the 116 Metro Mass Transit buses. And the matter had not been concluded. And I thought it was unconscionable as a nation, whilst we have not dealt with it decisively, to allow Smarties to front for another Chinese company and be giving a contract to the tune of $98 million. I thought it was unconscionable. At the time, as I said, we had not concluded this. Let's not forget that as a nation, when one of our own, Zoomlion, was involved in the contract, and the World Bank, after prying into it, felt that the contract sum had been padded, they blacklisted Zoomlion from operating in Liberia until they paid themselves, and it took about 2 years. So I thought, in Ghana, we should demonstrate seriousness with our award of contract once it involved a company that was being discussed and whose business had not been concluded, to be given another such reward. I thought it was out of place, which is why I said that Parliament should hold it, and then let Parliament involve some consultants to engage in some due diligence, value for money audit, and then we can take it from there. That's assuming we decided to even approve of the contract. In particular, because we were told that government, because of the sums involved, government had also contracted some agents to do some due diligence, and they had been able to make some savings, I was told, in the region of about $9 million involving that contract. So that should have caused the raising of red flags. If the agent was able to save this country amounts to the tune of about $9 million, what couldn't Parliament do, prying further into it? Perhaps Parliament could also, after engaging experts and consultants in that area, could also save this nation some amount. In any event, I didn't see the reason why we should be rushing this through Parliament if there was nothing untoward about it, which is why I raised these matters.
So you believe it's a deliberate attempt to just siphon money from the coffers from the government's coffers, and that this is a deliberate attempt by government to, as it were, push contracts to their own. Is that the case?
For now, I would not say that it is a deliberate, to quote you, attempt by government to siphon off money. I wouldn't say so. But I think that it's important for us to, really comb that contract to see whether or not there are any hidden malfeasance or improprieties contained in it.
Okay.
I think that's important for us to do that.
Mr. Sessions, so from what you say, I gather that you don't seem to. Is it a case that you have even seen the contract itself?
Come again?
You probably have not seen the contract itself, and based on what you say, you haven't seen the details of the contract.
To be honest, I have not seen it. And I saw the report from the committee that was tasked to delve into it. And they had not served members of parliament with copies of the contract. The contract documents went to the committee. And the committee is not parliament, even though the committee acts on behalf of parliament. Yeah. The committee itself is not parliament. It was important that such contracts are given to all members of parliament so that they could peruse it, engage some people, perhaps even outside parliament, to advise them on it before we come to consider it. So those are the issues that I raised. That no, we should be careful. In particular, given the circumstances surrounding Smartty. And I thought we needed to not to rush, but to act with some degree of circumspection. Unfortunately, the voice turned out to be a minority voice, and the majority, approved of it. And I thought it was wrong.
I see. So you have raised concerns about this particular deal, but as things stand now, well, like you said, it has been approved by Parliament, though it was the majority side that actually approved this. Now, it means they've given the all clear to operate. What next?
Well, going forward, I think that some of us are going to stand firm. We need to interrogate the matters further to see whether there are any hidden matters in the agreement. If there are, we'll raise red flags as we go along.
And by interrogating matters, you mean the minority will be doing what exactly? By interrogating matters, as you put it, what exactly do you mean by that? What is the minority going to do?
Further into the agreement. That's what I'm saying. We try further into the agreement and look at the every word with a magnifying glass. Because, as I said, I'm not too sure that if the nation was a serious nation, a company is involved in some fraudulent deal, and when you have not dealt with it, you allow the company to front for another group to secure a contract. I'm not too sure that any serious nation will do that.
Right. Minority Leader Osei Mensah, many thanks for your time on News Desk, and we will follow up on this particular issue and try and bring viewers a lot more as to what really this means for the entire country. And that was Minority Leader of Parliament Osei Mensah Bonsu, raising some issues about that particular rural electrification project, which is said to be costing the nation some $98 million, and we are told by the minority leader and the minority in Parliament that this particular deal is being fronted by the very same company that, well, over the past few weeks has been in the news over the branding of some Metro Mass buses, and I'm speaking of Smartty's company. We'll be bringing you much more on this, like I said, subsequently, but let's move away from that and do some other stories. And the owner of a quarry site in Piabo in the eastern region is denying responsibility for the explosion which killed one person and injured 10 others last week. Now, most of those injured have since been discharged from hospital, but the town remains devastated, with many houses destroyed by the force of the explosion. Now, the owner of the quarry, which has not been operational for almost 4 years, told Joy News that his company will do its best to compensate those worst affected.
What I know is that Piabo as a company, since more than 4 years, has never used explosives. There is another company called AKY Mining, who is a licensed explosive dealer, and they store explosives within the premises of Piabo Quarry.
So you are the owner of Piabo Quarry?
I'm the owner of Piabo Quarry.
Okay. So on the day of the explosion, where were you?
I was in Accra.
Okay.
Going after certain transactions with our bankers and so on, so I was not even at the quarry at all.
Okay, so how come explosives found their way into your quarry?
That's what I'm saying. There is a magazine which is operated by AKY Mining. And AKY Mining is a licensed explosive dealer. So they can explain any further questions.
But of course, if you say AKY Mining deals with explosives, this is your quarry.
Yes.
The explosives were in your quarry. Was there a planned explosion and it happened that way?
Not at all, not at all. AKY Mining sells explosives from this magazine to quarry operators. So it's not that we were making any blast or anything.
Okay. So you are the owner of the mine.
Yes.
I mean, considering the kind of damage that has been caused, a life has been lost, several other people have been injured. What do you make of what happened at your premises and the lives we've lost as a result of it?
It's a very sad issue. But all I can say is that this is a problem which we have rather been making the authorities aware that the encroachments that are going on can lead to such unwarranted issues.
So you're saying for the sites that you have, the concession you have, these people are complaining because they have wrongfully encroached on your land, and that's why the explosion affected them?
I would say that this particular explosion is an accident, a very big accident. So it might have gone beyond the normal quarry operation issues. So I cannot answer that question at the moment. But so far as a quarry, the normal quarry operation is concerned, those people, some of those people have encroached. Mind you, it is said that there was a first explosion, and actually those who got hurt and those who died went to see the explosion, and then there was a second explosion.
Is that what usually happens, that in the process of explosion, the first one goes off and then the second goes off?
Not at all, not at all. These are some of the issues which the police are investigating. Normally, if there is a first explosion, that will be it.
Will it be fair to anyone who says that you are to be held responsible for this?
It's not fair. First, we have not used any explosives. And secondly, the AKY Mining is a licensed explosive dealer. So one has to investigate why such an explosion could even happen.
Okay. You keep harping on AKY Mining being a licensed explosive dealer.
Yes.
Are they the ones who deal with explosions in your quarry?
Yes. They are the ones who deal there because they sell it to other quarries,
okay,
not only to us. And they are also supervised by the police at any given time.
So at any point in time, if there are questions about who we should hold responsible, it should be AKY Mining and not you, Piabo Quarry?
Yes, AKY Mining, because we don't have anything to do with the explosives. And I think they are available for questions.
So, for anyone who's home and for those who are in these communities who are watching right now and are asking themselves, you are absolving yourself of blame, but is that really what it is?
That is really what it is.
Why should we believe that?
Yeah, because that is what it is.